So, up next we have GP3. Again, we got 150cc, even though our host had 5000 VR. So we were very lucky in that aspect, and I think that was probably a big influence on why I've been doing so well. So, first up is Delfino. Saw someone going left and right, I'm not sure who it was, I think it was Sean. This Delfino race is probably the most interesting one. Not much to really talk about. We have the top 3 right now. It's been a relatively boring race. Lap 3 gets a little more interesting though. And then I got a TC and I didn't do the shortcut with it. I'll let them know that I'm blocking shortcut. And just said runs right into it. Fortunately, Glaska ends up dodging. Which breaks our top 3, but at least we still have top 2 and 4. And we have KD in 5th. And then I get another TC. I feel like Kitty right now with all these TCs. I end up getting the blue shell. I'm like, of course. It's because we're top 2 that I have the blue shell. At this point, very, very soon, I'm gonna put in... Of course I hit a box. At this point...
One, three, four. We probably lost that.
Please someone tell me someone was recording audio.
I am. Okay. What's the score? Did we win or lose that?
Next up, we have MC3. After that very exciting ending to Delfino Square. I don't know what the score was. I only know this. I'd have to look it up, but I don't feel like it. Either way, just it's taking people down, and Chucks is pushing me a lot. I'm trying to avoid Katie. I hit a banana, but at least he takes out Chucks for us. So now we are, I believe, top 4. We were top 5. Unfortunately, Sean got a TC though. Use triple MT strat there. Visa for conditioners. I use the mushroom to give myself more of a lead. Yep, there's the shock. Torn and I are top 2. I let him get the draft off me. I was hoping not to push him into a pipe at this point, which is why I slowed down a little bit. Purposely missed that MT so I could give him more space. Probably should have back spammed that red, but it's alright. Those reds disappear right in front of Torn. That's why Torn's on conditionals. Back spam my red. Don't know who I got with it. It looks like it was one of them that I hit with it. So we ended up losing that race by 1. And look at that score. Oh my god. Those point values. That's just awesome. I've never seen that before in my life. 15 through 8. Perfectly through. We ended up getting Rainbow Road for the 3rd race, and it goes without saying that I really, really, really hate Rainbow Road. So, when those scores got picked, I figured we were toast. I figured we were done for. But, let's see what ends up happening. Seth ends up getting ahead of me because I don't want to get bumped off. Too high of a trick in my opinion. Seth ends up taking Shroomless and making it. And then he ends up owning Torn. And I don't know whose banana that was. Tried sniping Fox, but missed. But at least I've got triple shrooms to do the mood jump. Away I go. Fortunately, I didn't land where an item box was, but I'll have to live with it. That banana did scare me a lot. Not really sure what happened to Trap back there. I figure they're gonna try and shock in the cannon. But that doesn't make me use my shroom for whatever reason. So I have to use it afterwards. Torn gets owned by Jased. Jased's making himself a lot of enemies in this war. At this point I hope that a shock is used so my red hits him. Unfortunately it doesn't happen. I look out for traps. That's why I went a little wide on that first one. I almost hit that fib. I was like, if I hit that fib, I'm gonna hate life. Tries to back green me, but misses. I almost banana myself. I was trying to get rid of it for when the shock was coming, but it never came. And at this point, I just figured that there's gonna be no shock. I'm okay with getting second, especially on this course. That green came pretty close. Not close enough, though, just said. Perhaps next time, my friend. And our perfect point layout gets ruined. Now, last race is coming up. At this point, we were made aware by the other team that we were only up by 6 points at this point. So literally, it's coming down to just this race. If we end up having a bad race here, we would lose the war. Excited? I know I wasn't. A lot of shoving going on, but I still gotta manage to get an item box. That fib was purely amazing. I end up getting a draft, as Torn also gets a draft. So at this and I end up getting another draft, which sucked. I didn't want that one. I used the shroom as shortcut. Give us a shroom in first. At this point, we're top 4, with Katie in the back. So we're feeling pretty confident, although we're worried they're going to end up getting shock and screwing us. And that was what we were afraid of, that they would shock and bring their way up. So I leave this room there for Torn to get. KD stays in the back with them. At this point, it looks like we're top 2 until Torn ends up getting redded before he could pull out his defense. Pressure started mounting a bit at this point. I decided to leave Banana tight. Fortunately, he avoids it. I played safe here and didn't decide not to go on the route because I just could not run the risk of screwing up and giving them the win. And then the worst thing happens. A red, I tried to hit it into the banana, but I suck. Then him and I both get redded by Torn's red. I throw away my fib, hoping he'd run into it. Unfortunately, he didn't, but then Torn back spams him, giving us a top 3. At this point, KD starts screaming that he has the shock. And we're like, okay, we've got top 3 in. I backspam and get him. Unless that was not mine, I'm not really sure. We end up with top 4, Torn in first getting blued, and he wanted us to use the shock, and I was like, no way. He can survive without his extra 3 points. And lo and behold, we get top 4. KD uses the shock for himself, brings himself up to, I believe, 9th. And we end up winning the war, I believe, by about 31 or 32. That big last race really ended up sealing it for us. Well, it was a very enjoyable war, extremely close the way these things should be. Very GG's, Nitro Nation Dashers. It was definitely an experience. I look forward to versing you guys again in a few weeks in IO. GG's, peace out.